Hello, David. Delighted to be having a chat with you. Such a prolific writer. Myself and Steve Evans here.
Hi, how are you doing, Terry and
Yeah.
Steve, after all this time? This is about the fourth time.
Yeah.
Thank you for the invite as well.
We've finally got, well, communication both ways, so to speak. We got there in the end. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
After trying it out last Friday. But yeah, so you're in London, I believe. Hope your weather's a little bit better than ours today. Ours is really miserable and windy. What's it like in London today?
It's not too bad. I'm just really, I used to live in London. I'm just outside in Hertfordshire, where I live in Elstree and Bournemouth. So just think about EastEnders, where that's filmed. That's literally down the road from me. And I did one scene in that not too long ago. Brilliant. And it was great. It was great going to Albert Square. I've never been there, obviously, and it's quite surreal.
Excellent. Yeah. So you're not actually London, and you're just on the outskirts of that Hertfordshire, which is lovely countryside, from what I remember of it. Anyway, so what do you do outside of writing? Before we talk about your writing and your acting background, of course, what do you do to relax outside of that, or don't you get any time to relax?
What do I do to relax? Sleep very late and get up early. Not much sleep. I work at I'm going to do a plug here. I work at, my brother and my sister run a sort of restaurant in Radlett, which is not too far from there, again in Hertfordshire. So I help between 11:30 and 3, sometimes 5 for lunch. We do about 50 to 70 covers a day. And that's actually within a theatre called Radlett Theatre. And we have many shows going on there. We have some great top actors. I've seen Markham McIntyre there. Sean Locke, bless him, he was there. Not so long ago, we had, I don't know if you're into football or not. You must be.
Just a bit.
You live in Liverpool.
Yeah.
So we're actually saying that we got Kevin Keegan coming in October.
Wow,
believe it or not.
Oh, lovely. Nice.
Yeah. The other
Mighty Mouse.
Pardon?
Mighty Mouse.
Yeah. I'd love it. I would love it if we did them. Love it.
Yeah, the Newcastle quote there.
Yeah.
I know. I actually met him. I don't know if I told you the story, but I went to years ago. I went to a Phil Collins concert at Wembley, and I had to go to the toilet. And who was beside me was Kevin Keegan having a wee with his curly hair. It was quite funny. So he turned round and Daddy did my shoes. No, he didn't really. We've had Brian Robson. You may not like him, obviously, from Manchester United, but he was a lovely, lovely guy, actually. Gary Mabbott. We've got Jeff Stelling coming in February. So we do have some top acts at the theatre. But they've also taken over Radlett Cricket Club, the bar and restaurant. And so I'm busy there. I'm going there tonight to watch the Man United game. And tomorrow we have Middlesex against Nottingham in cricket. So that's going to be, fingers crossed, the weather. The weather. What is it with the weather? Everywhere's burning, getting hot, and we've got nothing.
Yeah.
I know, it's awful, isn't it? So it sounds like you've got a busy old theatre there, and with the restaurant you've got attached, it sounds quite a good move.
It is busy.
Yeah, like it.
I'm not doing what I love doing because I'm helping there, and that's my priority. It's family, but I love being on apart from writing and doing my other projects. I love being on set I'm not really an actor, even though I've acted in a number of Bollywood movies and short films where I've actually acted. I've been murdered. I've had a plastic bag over my head, and I really went for that one. I really enjoyed that. And I've been a corpse twice, one in a Bollywood movie and one in a film in Ireland. And playing dead in a coffin is not easy because you can't move, you can't swallow, you can't twitch. But I love it. I love being on set. It could take 10 to 12 hours doing nothing and then do something for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the whole creativeness of making something like a movie or even an advert. I did one advert with Idris Elba for Booking.com, which was all over America last year. and I just love the whole career. I'm plugging there. Sorry.
No, it's brilliant.
Oh, it's good. It's good. That's us.
You've answered all our questions.
Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
No, I've met some. Oh yeah, I didn't even look at those questions. So we just go with the flow.
Yeah, three lads having a chat.
Yeah, exactly. I've been on The Crown. I've chatted with Dominic West.
Yeah.
You know, you do meet people. The Flash, the new film, The Flash. I played a doctor a number of times.
Yeah.
Policeman. I've done music videos, and as I said, I love from start to finish, the whole creativeness of making a short film, a TV advert, a big Bollywood movie or blockbuster Hollywood movie. I just love being involved, and I am an extra. I'm not an actor, even though people think, God, you should act because you lie so well. But I'm only joking. That's my current girlfriend said that. Yeah. But I'm the ex-wife, and I
love it.
So I'm really creative. I love being creative, and I love being part of it. But I haven't done a lot this year because I've been working at the restaurant, and as I said, that's my main. You got to help your family out before you help anyone else out. Really.
Yeah,
so that's what I do, and then I write.
Okay, so just going back and such about your surname, David Perlmutter. Have you researched the origin? Is this Germanic name? Is it Mother of Pearl, Perlmutter?
Spot on. Mother of Pearl. It means
we were right.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that, Steve, just before.
Yeah, no, it's a German name, but I'm a Jew, and I'm not practicing Jew, but I'm a Jew, and my dad always says, "Say it's from Austria," but then again, he turns around and thinks, "Damn, Hitler was born in Austria." So yeah, it's Mother of Pearl. It's German, but we've got a lot of foreign blood in our family. Well, my dad, who's no longer with us, his parents, my grandparents, they were from Odessa. So with what's going on over there, it's quite poignant knowing that they came from there. But we've got Russian blood, we've got Portuguese, Romanian. I haven't done a whole family tree because that would take ages because I've come from a large family, So, but yeah, it means Mother of Pearl. So
okay,
sounds like a very interesting
genealogy.
What do you call it? Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah. Look back in, it would be good to look back in. Very interesting. But moving on to your So moving on to your writing and your crime fiction series, Write To, and now you've written 8 non-fiction books, My Way, aimed at helping writers promote and market their work. But which of the two genres, fiction or non-fiction, does suit you most, or what do you prefer? Or maybe there's a bit of a balance for you, or I can see you scratching your side. You're not sure.
No, I am. I was just thinking that's a great question. Actually, no, I'd have flee. My writing process started. I lived in Portugal for 7 years, and that's where my 4th child, Ava, who lived to be 14 at the end of this month, was born. It was great living in Portugal. So what the first book I wrote is called Wrong Place, Wrong Time, and it was about my time in Marbella in '91, where I was wrongly accused and arrested for arson and manslaughter. Wrongly accused. Yeah.
Heavy.
So I was put in behind bars for 8 days. It's only 8 days behind bars, but it was horrific. And I started to do a bit of therapy, really. I started it as a blog. So I wrote a few sort of blog. I'm typing at my desk as I say it. And I did a couple of blog posts of what happened, or a build up to it. And I sent it to my friend, who was then was going to be my editor, and she said, "David, this is too good for a blog. Write a book about it." So I spent 9 months writing what happened to me, and as I say, it's more to do with therapy. And I clicked the button on Amazon, or we both did. I flew from Portugal to England, and we did it as a celebration, and that's gone really well. I mean, it's currently a #1 in a category. Well, it has been number one in categories across Amazon world, and it still is. Not number one in Kindle. I wish it was when it first came out 10 years ago, which seems like a lifetime ago. But it's still doing well. But then since then I've written 3 other true stories about my life. It's quite exciting. One in America. Well, one in when I was living in Brighton, I had a job in. I went for a job interview in Brighton for a company called Olin Mills. They're a portrait company, and they wanted me to go to Pennsylvania to train for 5 weeks. And I was with a girl at the time called Jennifer, and I thought, yeah, I want to do that. I love adventure, so I did it. And I wrote a book about that called 5 Weeks, because that was pretty dramatic as well. Then before that, I went to New York, and I thought, I was 21. I'm still on, yeah? You can still hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I was 21. I'm a dreamer. Even at 59 now, which I turned a couple of weeks ago, I'm a dreamer. So at 21 years old, I went to New York to find New York to go to Hollywood. I didn't even make it out of New York airport. I went there with 1 ticket, 500 quid, and they deported me back.
What? Because of the 8-day imprisonment in Portugal?
Sorry?
Because of the imprisonment in Portugal?
Oh, I don't know. No, because I just had a one-way ticket. I wasn't in prison in Portugal. I was in prison in Marbella.
Marbella, sorry. Yeah.
The wrong place, wrong time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so this 24 hours. So this book is called Wrong Place, Wrong Time. Then the other one of my trip to Pennsylvania, or Allentown, Altoona, which is right in a redneck area of Pennsylvania, is called 5 Weeks, which I loved writing. That was a very dramatic story. And then it was so dramatic, actually, that story, that when I should have returned home to England, I even got a lift to New York, and I thought, I don't want to go home. I don't want to go back. So there I looked. True story. It's in the book. I was looking at the sky, and there goes the plane I should be on with all my luggage. So I had no bloody luggage. Then the one in 24 hours in New York, I'm telling you, I had to stay. I was deported. Then I stayed overnight in the it was at JFK Airport in the Hilton with 2 plainclothes of the officers and 3 uniformed officers, 2 males and a female. We had pizza all night, and in the end, I was having a chat with this American copper about his relationship, and it was surreal. It was, and I loved it. I know it sounds cuckoo land, but that 24 hours in New York was quite an experience. So I thought, I'm going to write about that. Actually, in fact, I was telling someone the story about what happened, and he actually goes, who actually read Wrong Place, Wrong Time in the 5 weeks. He goes, write that book and I will read it. So he gave me the inspiration to write that book. And the other true story is called 13, because 4 events happened when I was 13. One was being bar mitzvahed. When you're Jewish, you get bar mitzvahed. It's like a how can I say it?
Coming of age ceremony, isn't it?
Coming of age thing.
Yeah.
The other one, that I had a peritonitis where I nearly died, so my appendix burst. Another one where my best friend at the time, we're still very good friends. He was diabetic, and he was having the fits. I had to feed him sugar, this and that. And the 4th event was I went to a school trip in Switzerland, Interlaken, with the school. And this is quite serious, actually. My music teacher at the time was now I can see it. I didn't at the time, was grooming me. And I won't tell you his name, but if you look at the book, if you Google his name, he was arrested in Thailand for blah, blah, blah. So that was quite an eye-opener. So they're the 4 true stories. And as you say about the social media books, I mean, I don't know everything about social media, but I do out-of-the-box social media. I'm a little bit cheeky, as I've been told, regarding that. I've also written a children's book with my girlfriend. We both wrote it together, even though she did a lot of work to it. which was fun doing. But my crime fiction, I love it. And I'm writing a 4th book. Well, I'm trying to. I've got another book to do, but I'm in about 15,000 words on the 4th book of this trilogy, which will not be called a trilogy anymore. It'll be called a quadrilogy, if there's such a word. And that is written in the first narrative, and it's actually about an author, and from London, who's debt-ridden, who has writing block, which is quite similar to me actually, especially the debt-ridden. And he gets involved with a mafia, underground London mafia boss called Mad Dog. And it's part of it's true actually, because my girlfriend was saying, she was saying, this is you, Jack Daniels, this, that, the other. I said, well, it's putting my own sort of experience in this book, and I've loved writing it. And my blog, which I told you initially when I first started it, it's exploded because it's got nearly, I mean, it's about 700,000 short of 1 million page views, which I'm proud of.
That's brilliant.
But the reviews of my crime fiction, people want to see it as they visualize it as a TV series. So that is what I'm working on. I've done the TV pilot with a guy in America. So that's done. I've done the pitch deck. And the pitch deck actually has actors who are interested if it's going to be options. I've got some, people you would have heard of, actors you would have heard of. So that's exciting. My first book, Wrong Place, Wrong Time, the one about Marbella, that's in a movie development, but that's been going on for some time. Things do not happen as quickly as you've got to be so patient in this
We've
business.
heard this, very slowly. And sometimes they get shelved, after getting the green light for a couple of years of development, and then put in what parked on one side.
Yeah, very common thing. We hear this a lot. Yeah.
It takes so long that it's so frustrating. But it's a roller coaster. Eventually I will write a book about it. Please God, it goes to Cannes, which I was there in May this year. Very quickly about the Cannes thing. During COVID, I had to do something. I couldn't just write. I thought I've got to do something. So for about 1.5 years, I worked nights at a local supermarket, big chain supermarket, and it was only 5 minutes walk away. And so from 10 p.m. until 8 a.m., 4 days a week. My first time I did it, I did 7 nights in a row, which nearly killed me. Yeah. So that's what I was doing. I was stocking shelves during the night. Once you've had your lunch hour, so to speak, between 2 and 3, from 3 o'clock, I had to do the milk and juice. And when you're sort of knackered, you've got to go to the fridge area, the freezer of milk and juice. My God, did I put some muscle on, which I've lost now. But working on your own at 3, 4 in the morning in the aisle, putting these cans, making sure the dressing's correct. That is when I sort of came up with the plot for my crime fiction, or some of it, because it gives you time to think, and it gives you time to talk to yourself as well. I had so many great conversations with myself.
Brilliant.
But what was worrying, a third and fourth party came into my head as well. So it was like I was having a discussion with 3 or 4 people in my head, and that is what you do at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and in the aisle when you're stocking the shelves for people to come in during COVID. But that was an experience, and I'll tell you what, it gave me complete utter respect for supermarket people, because
take them
when
for
you
granted
go to
normally.
Supermarket, you don't really think about the food's on, how did the food get there, or the tins and whatever the ingredient. You don't think about it when you're shopping, but believe you me, people should think about it, because it's hard work. And I was the oldest one there, and there were kids, I say kids, 25, whatever, who had a bad back, this knee, that knee, because working one night takes 2 days away. The day of your evening, you've got tip, and when you come back at 8 o'clock in the morning, where I used to live with my we're still together, but we don't live with each other. It's a long story. The sun used to come in on her front on the front doorstep, So it was south facing, but initially the sun used to come in. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, when I left during the summer, I used to have a coffee on the step, right, of the front door, 2 or 3 copies, maybe with a little bit of Jack Daniels in there, because to make me sleep. Cheers. And the front door was closed, and she used to find me like by about 8:30, asleep with my leaning against the back door, and cars were going past, and people were going past. It was quite funny. But I'm pleased I did that, because it gave me a great experience, and also it told me never, never, never do that job again, because it's bloody hard work.
You know, this film deal that's in progress. Did you bag yourself a character in this or not? Then, because you've got him surely.
Yeah, I'm going to be during the time. I'm going to be the passport controller at the end, because that was a nerve-wracking thing. But very quickly, sorry, going back to doing the supermarket shelving. Please God, once if the book is made into a movie, we've got a great production team and a great potential director. But once it's done, I'm going to write a book, and it's going to be called From Can, C-A-N, to Can, C-A-N-N-E-S. And the cover it's going to be about the process, the whole filming roller coaster process, and the cover is going to be a red carpet with a can of baked beans with a bow tie on, something like that. So
sounds amazing, actually.
It does. Yeah, that sounds brilliant.
Imagination. What an imagination.
That is what I thought about, and so I'm dying to write that book, but till the bloody film's made, or till we're looking to film, go into pre-production in January next year and film Please God in spring. But you know, it's been going on for a number of years, but obviously COVID didn't help. Which, if you look back on COVID now, you think, bloody hell, did we really go through that? It's quite remarkable, actually.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about COVID.
No, it's not so negative.
Let's talk about David. When I talk about football, I'm a bit of a stato, very sadly. And I always say the most eloquent, beautiful centre half or sweeper I've ever seen. I don't say the name. I just say that he costs £90,000 from Partick Thistle.
Alan Hansen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
He was an elegant player, wasn't he?
What would that team be worth now with Keegan, Dalglish, Hansen, those Lawrenson?
The best.
Incredible.
It's crazy. But he's my all-time favourite centre half. He was incredible.
Such an elegant player. David, time's actually run out on us. This has been a blast chatting with you.
But you never win anything with kids.
He said that on Match of the Day, didn't he? I remember very well, You never win anything with kids. Man United or wherever it was going to win. Yeah.
I know.
David, on that note, listen, we'll have to say thank you very much. And maybe we can book another chat in 6 months' time when the film's out and you're on the red carpet.
Please God, oh, that'd be lovely. And you two would be invited.
Brilliant. We'll hold you to that. Definitely, yeah.
Oh, very quickly. Brookside, loved it. But there we go. That's another conversation.
David, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. But for now, cheers, mate.
All right, thank you guys again.
A lot of fun, and it's been funny. So thank you very much.
Really enjoyed it.
You're welcome. Take care.